I'm in the chronological Bible. I like to learn about God on all different levels, so I read the Bible chronologically, historically, and just like I do cosmologically. I love God, and it's the first and most important thing in my life. Reading the Bible is the best way to know God, and it's the best tool for a Christian. There's no doubt about that. When I read the Bible chronologically, it's like I'm looking at it more historically, watching Adam and Eve in the family tree all the way to Jesus unfold in front of me, almost like a movie. A historical good reason to love the Bible because there is no contradictions. Everything historically has been proven. So it's like one long movie all the way to Jesus and then all the way through Acts. Man, to Revelations. Anyways, in the chronological Bible, it's a little different. Wherein Abraham is in Egypt, it's Genesis chapter 12, verse 10. Now, there was famine in the land, and Abraham went down to Egypt to dwell there, for the famine was severe in the land. And it came to pass when he was close to entering Egypt that he said to Sarai his wife, Indeed, I know that you are a woman of beautiful countenance. Therefore it will happen, when the Egyptians see you, that they will say, This is his wife, and they will kill me, but they will let you live. Please say you are my sister, that it may be well with me for your sake, and that I may live because of you. So it was, when Abraham came into Egypt, that the Egyptians saw the woman, and that she was very beautiful. The prince of the Pharaoh also saw her and commanded her to Pharaoh. And the woman was taken to Pharaoh's house, and he treated Abraham well for her sake, and he had sheep, oxen, male donkeys, male and female servants, female donkeys, and camels. But the Lord plagued the Pharaoh and his house with the great plagues because of Sarai, Abraham's wife. And Pharaoh called Abraham and said, What is this you have done to me? Why did you not tell me that she was your wife? Why did you say she is my sister? I might have taken her as my wife. Now therefore here is your wife. Take her and go your way. So the Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him. They sent him away with his wife and all that he had. Abraham inherits Canaan. Genesis chapter 13, verse 1. Then Abraham went up from Egypt, and he and his wife and all that he had, and Lot with him to the south. Abraham was very rich in livestock, in silver, and in gold. And he went his journey from the south as far as Bethel, and to the place where his tent had been at the beginning, between Bethel and Ai, to the place of the altar which he had made there at first. And there Abraham called on the name of the Lord. Lot also, who went with Abraham, had flocks and herds and tents, and now the land was not able to support them, that they might dwell together, for their possessions were so great that they could not dwell together. And there was strife between the herdsmen of Abraham's livestock and the herdsmen of Lot's livestock, the Canaanites and the Perizzites that dwelt in the land. So Abraham said to Lot, Please let there be no strife between you and me, and between my herdsmen and your herdsmen, for we are brethren. Is not the whole land before you? Please separate from me. If you take the left, then I will go to the right, or if you go to the right, then I will go to the left. And Lot lifted his eyes and saw all the plain of the Jordan, that it was well watered everywhere, before the Lord destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, like the garden of the Lord, like the land of Egypt as you go towards Zorah. And then Lot chose for himself all the plain of Jordan. Lot journeyed east, and they separated from each other. Abraham dwelt in the land of Canaan, and Lot dwelt in the cities of the plain, and pitched his tent even as far as Sodom. But the men of Sodom were exceedingly wicked and sinful against the Lord. And the Lord said to Abraham, after Lot had separated from him, Lift your eyes now and look from the place where you are, northwards, southwards, eastwards, and westwards. For all the land which you see I will give you and your descendants forever. And I will make your descendants as the dust of the earth, and so that if a man could number the dust of the earth, and then your descendants also could be numbered. Arise, walk in the land, and through its length and its width, for I give it to you. Then Abraham moved his tent and went and dwelt by the terebinth tree of Mamre, which are in Hebron, and built an altar there to the Lord. Lot's captivity, chapter 14:1. They're going to go in with these hard names. And it came to pass in the days of Amraphel, king of Shinar, Arax, king of Elasar, Chedorlaomer, king of Elam, and Tidal, king of nations, that they made war with Bera, king of Sodom, and Bersha, king of Gomorrah, and Shinab, king of Admah, and Shember, king of Zeboiim, and the king of Bela, and that is Zorah. All these joined together in the valley of Siddim, and that is the Salt Sea. 12 years they served Chedorlaomer. In the 13th year they rebelled. In the 14th year, Chedorlaomer and the king that were with him came and attacked Rephaim, and Ashtaroth, and Karanaim, and the Zuzim, and Ham, and Eman, and Shavah, and Karathim, and the Herates, in the mountains of Seir, and as far as Elaparan, and which is by the wilderness. Then they turned back and came to En and Mishpat, and that is Kadesh, and attacked all the countries of the Amalekites, and also the Amorites, who dwelt in Hizazon and Tamar, and the king of Sodom, the king of Gomorrah, the king of Admar, the king of Zeboiim, and the king of Bela, that is Zorah, went out and joined together in battle in the valley of Siddim against the Chedorlaomer, king of Elams, and Tidal, king of nations, Amraphel, king of Shinar, and Arak, king of Elasar, 4 kings against 5. Now the valley of Siddim was full of asphalt pits, and the king of Sodom and Gomorrah fled. Some fell there, and remainder fled to the mountains. And then they took all the goods of Sodom and Gomorrah, and all their provisions, and went their way. They also took Lot, Abraham's brother's son, who dwelt in Sodom, and his goods, and departed. And then one who had escaped came and told Abraham the Hebrew, and he dwelt in the terebinth tree of Mamre, and Amorites' brother Eshcol, and the brother of Anar. And they were allies with Abraham. And now when Abraham heard that his brother was taken captive, he armed his 318 trained servants who were born in his own house, and went to pursue as far as Dan. He divided his forces against them by night, and he and his servants attacked them and pursued them as far as Hobah, and which is north of Damascus. And so he brought back all the goods, and also brought back his brother Lot his goods, and as well as the woman and the people. And the king of Sodom went out to meet him in the valley of Sheva, that is the king's valley, after his return from the defeat of Chedorlaomer and the king who were with him. Abraham and Melchizedek. Then Melchizedek, king of Salem, brought out bread and wine, and he was the priest of God's Most High. And he blessed him, and he said, Blessed be Abraham of God's Most High, possessor of heaven and earth. And blessed be God's Most High, who has delivered your enemies into your hand. And he gave him a tithe of all. Now the king of Sodom said to Abraham, Give me the person, and take the goods for yourself. But Abraham said to the king of Sodom, I have raised my hand to the Lord, God's Most High, the possessor of heaven and earth, and that I will take nothing from the thread to a sandal strap, and that I will not take anything that is yours, lest you should say, I have made Abraham rich, except only what the young men have eaten. In the portions of the men who went with me, Aner, Eshcol, and Mamre, let them take their portions.